My name is Rufai Zakari. I'm an artist based in Nima and Bawku Upper East region. My work examines consumerism, environmental pollution, trade and labor. The material I use in my work is single-use plastic bags. Another material that deemed to my artistic impression. Talking of what informs the materials that I'm using, I go in for the materials. After collection, I do the processing, and now I will sit and then be thinking of what to talk. At that time that I did those pieces was within a theme that I'm trying to talk about, which is the beauty that I'm trying to refine in what people see it as trash. So after that, still continue with the practice until I find another interesting theme that I want to talk about. Instead of just doing something that is not well understood, I do images that whenever people see, they would clearly understand that is an image, but not just an image, to also talk about things that is within the images that I do. One of them, I entitled it Hawa. Hawa was a lady that was working with me in my studio. She's very hardworking. I want to encourage her, but there is few women that are practicing art in Ghana. So for me to encourage Hawa, I try to tell a story of Hawa. That story can also encourage her to also continue with her practice. After collection, some of the materials were really dirty. So for that, it has to go through the washing process. We have the picking, and then the washing, the drying, and also heating with a heat press. And also after the heating, we go through the cutting. After cutting, I then decide what to do with a particular material that I collect. After everything went through the process, I would then think of what exactly I want to create at that moment. So let's say Hawa, I just pick the colors that I want to use to make Hawa. So when I get the colors, I do my sketch on a brown paper. After the sketch, I just trim the sketch and then place it on the plastic, and then also trim the plastic with the form that I want it to look. So after trimming, if I have all the form that I want, then I start to stitch. It's a bit tricky. At times I don't get the colors that I want to use on a particular piece. So I have to wait until I get that color before I proceed with the piece that I'm working on. So with Hawa, for instance, I was lucky that I have enough yellow at that time. And yellow is one of her favorite colors. Because being with her in the studio, I've been seeing her works, how she has been painting, and I realized she is a fan of yellow. Talking about the color tone, I choose a particular color scheme that I want to work with, and also with the kind of person that I'm trying to portray. Hawa has a lighter skin. That is why I use water sachet to kind of differentiate her with the other pieces that I make. With Mercy is very dark. I choose black single-use plastic because of her color tone to give the right identity that I'm trying to talk about. With the background is also sachet. Just want to give it a lighter background that can make the work stand out. With Nima and I was really captured with the message that they try to send across, and also with their aims and also objectives. So Nima and wants to make art very visible to everyone. For me, being in the studio painting doesn't make it visible to everyone. So that is why I decided to join Nima and Working with Nima also gives me a lot of experience, especially working in the field of talking of the environment and also issues affecting humans, and also issues affecting the society. The best way to speak about those issues is to do a mural, a street art, where people can see and then relate with the work, and also with the message that you are trying to send across. That is the reason for me to join the Nima and Art. We also want art to be seen as important in our society, especially within our community. People don't, when you said you are an artist, you are not being respected, and people don't value art. So taking it to the street has helped us a lot. So that makes it visible for people to see and also know the importance of art, what art can do, how art can be a tool to change and also transform society. Nima and Bawku seemed very important for me because we had a lot of stories to tell. And that also helps me in many ways. If you stay in Nima, I see it that if I stay in Nima, I will never lack stories. Because there is a lot within the community for me to talk about. So I don't see it as good to be living elsewhere than to be living in a place that I gain my inspirations from. My family being part of my work has played a major role in my career. And it is not that I involve them, it is their decision that makes them involved. My wife was a very fan of art. She did visual art in school, and she is very much interested in fashion, and also she do a lot of fancy things and a lot of things that I see and then also gain inspiration through that. So I didn't advise her to join me or even maybe tell her to join me. She just made a decision that since I'm working with people, she also felt there's a need for her to also join and then makes it flourish. So it was my wife's interest, not my interest. I gave her her own freedom to make a choice. Joining me to work was her choice, and I also welcome it. The sustainability of African home lies on the head of women. It is true. There's a saying in Hausa that says, "Ngida zai kyau, ya fito ga mata, ya fito ga mace. In kuma yaro zai kyau, ya fito ga mace." Talking about my life, I think all my achievement and all that I had today has to do with my mother. My mother fought so well in order to make me a better person. That connection was there, and it is deeper. And anytime I find myself working with women, I see them as mothers. I see them to be like my mother. So I really cherish women, and also I cherish the love my mom have for me. I felt if there is anything that I will talk about in my practice, it has to do with women. Without women, I will tell you my life wouldn't be the way it is now. Coming from Nima and Bawku, no one has ever asked me why is my work focused on sassy. I didn't experience any question like this, but the most thing that people talk about is me converting waste into art. And that is the most thing that people ask me within my community.